Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Batman.
Now let's start the show.
Thank you. What's the deal with the Nintendo eShop? It's like even worse than I thought before. Because I know I talked about this shit. But, okay, so I already kind of talked about how it was working, the whole thing, and there was kind of a split between stuff. But let me just try to dig into how weird and aggravating this eShop is. Okay, so there's already this weird split that I talked about with the 3DS and the Wii U eShops. There's this split where basically, if you want to get Game Boy games, or Game Boy Color games, or Sega Genesis games, or Sega Game Gear games for that matter, those are all relegated to the 3DS eShop. So, those are all there. They are not on the Wii U eShop. And some of the stuff that's on the Wii U eShop is understandable. Stuff like Wii games and, Nintendo 64 games. Things that probably couldn't just straight up run on the 3DS, either due to the controls of it or to how powerful they would be. Makes sense. And of course, there's not going to be any actual 3DS games on the Wii U's eShop, just digital copies of those because, well, I mean, you can't have 3D. There's no 3D effect on the Wii U gamepad. And you can't really have Wii U games on 3DS because no way in hell are they going to actually run on there. Alright, so that makes sense. Okay, that little bit makes sense. Why there's a split with these other ones doesn't make much sense. Because they have that weird split for those, right? The other things that are weirdly exclusive to the Wii U eShop is they have Virtual Console for... the only one that overlaps is NES. I'll say that. That's the one that overlaps. Then they have the new 3DS, and if you get that, then you can get Super Nintendo games on there. And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that the Super Nintendo games, which are also on the Wii U eShop, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe the original 3DS, for whatever fucking reason, some technical bullshit, it just can't possibly run those on there, the Super Nintendo games. I don't know why that would be an issue, but it probably is something like that. I would hope. Otherwise, it's fucking bullshit. And it can run enhanced versions of N64 games. It has enough buttons. Why the hell couldn't it run a fucking Super Nintendo game? And it can run a Genesis game. I don't fucking know. But let's just pretend like it makes sense and like that's a technical thing. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Well, then we have this thing with Game Boy Advance games. Okay? The Game Boy Advance games are on the Wii U eShop, but not on the 3DS eShop, or even the new 3DS eShop. Thing is, they can run on there. It's not like, oh, well, there's probably a technical issue there as well, right? No, you're wrong. For one thing, they'd be able to play then on the new 3DS, theoretically. But the thing is, even on the original 3DS, if you were part of the Ambassador program, you could get Metroid Fusion, which is a Game Boy Advance game. So, clearly they can do Game Boy Advance games on there, and they just don't. But they have them on the Wii U, even though those are handheld games, and they're putting them onto the console. Well, what the fuck does that have to do? Well, why would they do that? Also, there are actually Nintendo DS games on the Wii U Virtual Console as well, which, that's fucking bizarre that those aren't on the 3DS either. Maybe it's because, I guess, let's pretend there's technical issues with that to emulate it, plus the fact that you have backwards compatibility is not super necessary, but it would be nice, and clearly those games can run because there is WarioWare Touched on the 3DS. It was an exclusive through my Nintendo, but it's also actually just one you can just flat out get on Wii U. And, it can be done. And why it hasn't been integrated? Well, probably just to push you to buy both of these systems. It really feels like it's just an arbitrary split to do that. I also think that's maybe a way to try and get around the whole idea of a cross-platform purchase, because, well, if you buy it on one, you probably don't want to buy it on the other, right? Well, if they don't have the same ones crossing over, then it doesn't happen. But there are plenty of games that aren't Nintendo ones that are just, other companies like indie developers are putting out their games, and they have cross-platform purchases, so when you buy it on one device, you get it for both. Like, for instance, Zeo Drifter. That's the one I had. I got that on my 3DS before I even thought I was ever going to get a Wii U anytime soon. And when I was looking through the Wii U eShop, oh, holy shit, I have Zero Drifter that I can just get there for free now because I got it on 3DS. Awesome. Why is that not the case, at least for the NES games? I know they're only $5, but hell, maybe mark them up to 6 or something, or whatever. Just make it cross-platform buy if it's the same fucking thing on either system. Doesn't make sense that there's not a cross-platform buy, especially when it's the same fucking game. It's the exact same fucking game. Okay? It's not like they're changing it to have to do a different edition or something. I'm sure there's some kind of mild tweaks to make it work on those systems, but still, it's the same fucking game. The games are done. You don't have to, like, add in extra shit for that, really. Is it that hard to make it a cross-platform purchase, you fucks? It's clearly not. If the indie developers can do it, you can do it. And the other really bizarre thing is you look at this, and you have to kind of scratch your head and wonder, okay, so you have stuff like, here's the, NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, Nintendo 64, and then Wii games. Which, Wii games already run on there, so, which is another thing, is why doesn't 3DS have DS, Virtual Console titles, if the Wii U has Wii Virtual Console titles? Thing is, we're missing GameCube. What the fuck happened to the fucking GameCube? Why aren't there GameCube games on there? I can't imagine that GameCube games are so much harder to emulate than Wii games. I mean, why aren't they just fucking on there then? Why aren't they fucking on there? Unless there's some weird thing I'm missing where if you go into the Wii mode it'll let you play those. I doubt it. I've not heard of anyone doing that. And what's weird is that we even had those... Nintendo put out those fucking GameCube controllers. Basically, I guess, just to play Smash. Fucking why? Why would you do it just for that and not put out fucking GameCube games on the Virtual Console? You have Wii, you have Nintendo 64. Fill in the fucking gap. Fill in the gap. It's fucking retarded, okay? I can't believe they would do something so weird and convoluted. And on top of that, I guess the Wii eShop is still up. The Wii Shop channel, as it's called, is still up and running. You have to go into the Wii mode, and then you have to go into the shop channel there. And then you can go and still buy that stuff there. So you can still get a lot of these games through that shop. But your Nintendo eShop funds do not carry over to the Wii Shop channel. That's a totally different thing for some fucking reason also. So you have to get the stupid fucking Wii Points thing, or whatever they had to do, the stupid point system. That was so fucking genius. I'm glad they got rid of that at least. And that means you have to basically go in, you have to buy points with money. Now, you used to be able to get cards for those points, but now that, the Wii's kind of gone, not really supporting it anymore, well, they don't really make those cards anymore. So that means that unless you get lucky and find some weird surplus of Wii Points cards out there, basically you have to use your own credit card or some shit and put that in and then just directly buy the points through that. And then you have to buy the allotted sum of points. So you have enough points in order to get the things you want to get on there, which is an annoying fucking step to do when you should be able to just go in and fucking buy the game. And at least that shop's still there, so it's like, hey, if you want to get your Sega Genesis games on there and stuff like that, some of these things that aren't really available, through the actual, or just games that are on there for the other systems that just aren't available in the Wii U eShop yet, you just get them through that one, and you'll have them. And I don't know, that's kind of a weird thing, and it's been feels like it's hidden, like you're not supposed to know about it. And it's just, the whole thing just feels like it's all over the place. It's just kind of a fucking mess. And I don't understand why there's this weird arbitrary split. There's things that are here and aren't here. There's things that should be on both but aren't. There's things that are on here that feel like they should belong here, and here they should belong there. And it feels like, it feels like a joke, man. It feels like they're trying to get you to get everything to try to be convenient, when it really, that's just way less convenient. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I guess I just wanted to address that shit, because I just thought it was fucking crazy how split up and fucked up that is. And I don't know I don't even know how the DSi stuff works either, if that's even gonna carry over or not somehow. I probably didn't. I don't fucking know. So it's really just, it's a mess, and it was worth bringing up again, I thought, just because these new pieces of the puzzle came to light. It made it go from just a slight, annoyance of it's weird that they're doing this and not this or whatever, to what the fuck were they thinking? What the fuck is this shit? And that's the point where I am right now. Not to mention there's also the annoying thing where you can look up, and it shows you a bunch of stuff that's only on the 3DS, in the Wii U eShop. They don't show you Wii U stuff in the 3DS eShop when you're regular searching. Why did they put it in for that one? I don't know. Don't do that. Filter that out. If you want me to look at 3DS stuff, make it a different category. I don't know. It's silly. But I think that's the thing. And put it in cross-platform purchases, really. Like, that is an easy step you could do to make people want to buy stuff from the eShop rather than paying like a split. I don't know. Maybe they'll fix it with the NX, but who the fuck even knows? There's still little to no information on that motherfucker. So we'll see. We'll wait and see. What's the deal with Sam?